Stop planning for the future. Do this instead. Today, we're talking about the black swan. I promise you, you stick around, you watch this. This is going to change the way that you look at your life. It's going to change the way that you look at your future. It's going to change the way that you look at society. So welcome in, fam. Much love, Trav here. If that sounds pretty cool, make sure to hit the thumbs up. And hit the thumbs up for Daisy here, the goat, after this video, or maybe a couple more videos. I'm going to take her to swim in the ocean for the first time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, the point of this video, I read this book so you don't have to. It's called The Black Swan. It's by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. He is sort of a philosopher, and he was a trader. He made a lot of money making trades. And he has a concept that's super incredibly fascinating that is going to change the way that you think about the world. So, what is this? The thesis is basically that, and you can relate to this, I'm going to share from my own life, and you can share from your life, but the thesis is that the world is ruled by large unpredictable events, much more by the daily mundane. For instance, in Pearl Harbor, the Japanese flew right over these mountains. Nobody saw that coming. 9/11 was a black swan. 2008 recession was a black swan. People didn't see that coming. What are other examples of black swans? World War II, you couldn't plan for that. COVID-19 happened this year as a black swan. Something you don't see coming that's unpredictable, that matters more than anything else. You may have these in your life. You got fired unpredictably. Didn't see that coming. You got broken up with unpredictably. Didn't see that coming. You broke your leg or tore your ACL. A family member died. Surprise. These small things, they're big things. You don't see them coming, you don't plan for them, and they mess up your life more than anything. But on the flip side, there's also positive black swans. There are things that, if you invested in Bitcoin back in the day and you still have opportunities, huge black swan. Maybe you met the right person at the right time. Maybe you got lucky and you ended up exactly where you're supposed to be. That's sort of how I feel right now. The black swan, all kinds of other realities didn't happen because this one did. Now, what does even a black swan mean? Well, the idea is, if you lived in Europe, you only knew white swans. You only saw white swans, so you could say all swans are white. All the data you've ever had in your entire life says swans are white. But then you go to Australia, you see a black swan. The way that you modeled the world, your prediction, was proven wrong just by one. This is a planning problem. The best example of this is a turkey. Say that you're a turkey and you're trying to predict the future based on the past. And every single day you get fed. It's like all that's happened is I got fed. Every day you get more secure in the future. Every day you get more confident about what's going to happen. And then what happens? Thanksgiving comes around. All the data you ever had to predict the future is wrong. You get gobbled up, you get eaten. So what does that mean? You can't predict the future by the past. So you can't really predict the future at all. You don't really know. So anything that uses standard deviation, anything that's using statistics, odds of this happening, we don't know. Statistics is sort of I'm gonna drop the book back off in the car. Statistics is sort of a imaginary concept anyways. Got the goat. Sorry, goat. It's just incomplete imagination, information. Like what's going to happen is what's interesting. So what do you think is going to happen? Don't know. You predict, but you don't know. So where do you go from here? The point of this video is stop predicting. And what you can do instead is start planning, start preparing. So what's the takeaway here? What's the benefit here? We don't know if rising sea levels are going to wipe out Hawaii. We don't know if fires are going to destroy California. We can't plan if there's going to be an asteroid, or there's going to be a gamma storm event, or there's going to be a new world war, or there's going to be a new pandemic. But what we can do, so stop planning for this stuff, what you can do, because you can imagine it, you don't know, is prepare. So I want you to be prepared for all situations, prepared for all scenarios. it might never come to pass, but worst case, you sleep better at night. So what does it mean to be prepared? It means, one, to be not exposed to the negative. If the worst happens, you're going to be okay. And the second part of that is to be exposed to, if something really good happens, you have a stake at it and you're going to benefit from it, right? So we're going to go back into your life, but example from him, he says he's a trader. So what does he do with his money? Most people will say, like, do something mildly aggressive or mildly conservative, like put some money in the stock market. It seems kind of safe. He says no. He keeps a majority of his money in either cash or treasury bonds, basically something that's super low risk, but something that is going to lose value over time. And then he takes 10% of his money and straight up gambles it on speculative bets, because who knows what the odds are, but you can guess the consequences of being right. Like, I don't know the odds of getting hit by a car, but I do know the consequences of getting hit by a car, right? Maybe I die, maybe I'll rack up hospital bills, I can't do my physical labor job. I should be prepared for it. So I want you to be prepared for a variety of situations and treat life like a preparation. You see, Richard Dawkins, famous evolutionary biologist, says it's not the fastest or the strongest who survive, it's the most adaptable. So you need to be the most flexible, the most adaptable. And can you relate to this? You had a plan, you're going to go on a trip, you're going to move here, you're going to meet up with this person. A big plan and it fell through because something big happened. You got arrested, or there was a car accident, or something happened and it changed your life forever. Your plans fell through. I want you to be flexible. I want you to be adaptable. I want you to have financial flexibility and adaptability. A number of circumstances could happen and you'll be okay, right? And that means how you invest your wealth, but also means diversifying your income streams. You should have at least 2 ways of making money. If over specialization is risky, if one thing goes wrong, at least you have the second thing, right? I want you to, let's see, what else? I want you to be prepared for physical injury, train. So I saw the Joe Rogan podcast with Kevin Hart earlier in the year, and Kevin Hart got in a really bad car crash that he broke his back, basically. He had back surgery. He was out for like a year. And the doctor said, hey, if you hadn't trained and had such a strong core, then you wouldn't walk again or you would be dead. So be physically training, because you don't know what happens. You could be in a really bad car crash, or you could fall, or you could get in a fight. Like, you should know how to take care of yourself. You should know how to protect yourself. I got the rams fighting over here. Let's check this out. Yeah, I guess some of the females are back in heat. Barney's like, I wanna, they're humping each other. Thumbs up for the, those are the 3 rams with balls. It seems like the young ones are trying to challenge the older one. Thumbs up for the sheep divergence. So you got to be prepared. Like, you might need to pack up and leave. Where else could you move to? Will Smith says, plan B detracts from plan A. I'm telling you, you should have plan Bs. You should at least plan. Like Charlie Munger says, I spent a lot of my life planning for the worst and I'm much happier for it. You think that, hey, I want to patch the roof when the sun is shining. You have to think about things that are going to go wrong and prepare for some of them. That way, sometime you actually won't be blindsided by it. You're going to be okay when it happens. So, to me, this is actually pretty entertaining over here. I've never really seen this before with the young ones chasing the old one. The old one's much stronger, so he could mess them up, but will he? Okay, so I hope you found that useful. Basically, the takeaway is you can't plan the future. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen in your life. You don't know what's going to happen in the world. You can't predict the odds. One reality is going to play out, but what you can predict is what will happen to you, the consequences, so you can have an idea of how to protect yourself, how to prepare, how to not get hurt by unpredictable events. You can expose yourself to dangers, or you can protect yourself from dangers. So I encourage you to protect yourself from dangers. If you thought that was interesting, make sure to thumbs up. If you made it all the way to the end and you thought that was super interesting, here, let me give you one more example from the book while we're here. Sheep, 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 sheep. Casinos can lose money. How can they lose money? They hire risk managers to figure out, like, how could we lose money? So how do you think a casino could lose money? You would think maybe someone goes on a hot streak and wins a ton of money from the casino, or maybe someone steals money, so they or someone cheats and consistently takes money from the casino. Well, the casino that they studied, or that was presented on in this book, the way the casino actually lost money is they do performances, Sigmund and Freud, with the Tiger Show, and the tiger mauled one of the main performers. They weren't insured against it. It cost them $100 million. Can't plan for that. Like, you didn't see that coming. They also lost a lot of money because a disgruntled employee tried to blow up the casino. The plan was foiled, but it still lost a lot of money. It's not something they planned for. And then one more thing, they lost a lot of money when the casino's daughter was kidnapped and they had to pay a ransom. So that's kind of like life. You plan for this, this, and this, but this ends up happening. You can't predict it, but you can be prepared for it. You can be in a good situation. So do what you can. Appreciate you. Much love, and talk to you soon. Hope you find that useful. Peace.